Some horror stories feel terrifying because we know they're just movies. But the most disturbing stories don't come from Hollywood. They come from real people, people who were living normal lives, until one moment changed everything forever. No monsters, no special effects, no fictional villains, just real fear, real experiences, and real events that left people traumatized for life. These are 7 real horror stories from people, stories so disturbing, so uncomfortable, and so unbelievable that they will stay in your mind long after this video ends. Story number 1. Someone was watching me. A woman once shared a terrifying story about living alone in a small apartment. Every night around 2 a.m., she began hearing faint footsteps outside her bedroom door. At first, she assumed it was just the building settling, but the sound continued, night after night. Soon, she noticed small things changing in her apartment. A mug moved, a door slightly open, a light she knew she had turned off, now glowing faintly in the dark. She began sleeping, with her bedroom door locked. But some nights, she swore she could hear slow breathing on the other side of the door. Terrified, she placed a chair against the door before going to sleep. When she woke up the next morning, the chair had been moved. She lived alone. She installed a small security camera in her living room. The next morning, she reviewed the footage. At exactly 2:17 a.m., her bedroom door opened slowly, and a shadowy figure stood in the doorway. For several minutes, the police were called. No intruder was ever found. Story number 2, the man outside my window. A college student once described waking up late one night with the overwhelming feeling that she was being watched. She slowly turned toward her bedroom window. A man was standing outside, staring directly at her. Frozen in fear, she reached for her phone before she could call for help. The man smiled. Then he slowly raised his finger to his lips, signaling her to stay silent. She screamed. By the time police arrived, the man had vanished. For weeks afterward, she struggled to sleep. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow felt closer. She kept her curtains closed, but sometimes she still felt like someone was standing outside, watching, even when she saw nothing. Story number 3, the phone calls. A man once reported receiving phone calls from an unknown number every single night at exactly 11:48 p.m. When he answered, there was only breathing on the other end. Slow, heavy breathing. At first, he thought it was a prank, but the calls never stopped. He stopped answering, yet the phone kept ringing, night after night. Sometimes the breathing sounded closer, sometimes softer, sometimes angry. As the weeks passed, he began to dread nighttime, until one night, he finally spoke. "Who is this?" After several seconds of silence, a whisper replied, "I'm watching you sleep." Terrified, he called the police. The number was traced to an inactive phone, found abandoned, less than a mile from his home. Story number 4, something followed us in the woods. 2 friends once went camping, deep in a remote forest. Late at night, they heard footsteps circling their tent. Slow, deliberate, heavy. They called out, expecting a person. No one replied. Instead, the footsteps began to mimic their movements. When one of them shifted inside the tent, the footsteps shifted too. At one point, one of them whispered, "What if it's not a person?" Neither of them replied. The forest was silent, too silent. No insects, no wind, No movement, just footsteps, slowly circling, waiting. In the morning, they discovered footprints surrounding their campsite. But the footprints did not look human. Story number 5. Someone was inside my house. A man once returned home late at night and noticed something strange. His front door was unlocked. Inside, nothing appeared stolen, but objects had been moved. A chair sat in a different position. A cabinet door was open. Then he noticed muddy footprints leading down the hallway. They stopped outside his bedroom door. That night, he didn't sleep. Every creak made his heart race. Every shadow looked like a figure standing still. At one point, he felt certain someone was standing just outside his bedroom door, listening. Later that night, he heard breathing coming from the dark hallway. Story number 6. The baby monitor. A young couple once reported hearing a strange voice through their baby monitor. At first, they assumed it was interference, but then the voice whispered,
"I see you."
They rushed into their child's room. Their baby was asleep. No one else was inside. Later, they reviewed the monitor recording. A distorted voice could be heard, speaking softly for several minutes. The mother later said, "The scariest part was not the voice. It was the realization that someone or something might have been watching their child." They unplugged the monitor that night and never used it again. Story number 7. The stranger who knew my name. A woman once shared that she received a message from an unknown social media account. The message said only one word, her name. She ignored it. Then another message arrived. "I see you every morning." Terrified, she checked outside her apartment. Across the street, a man stood, staring directly at her window. When she called the police, the man disappeared into the crowd. For months afterward, she felt like she was being followed. "Abby," she checked behind her. When walking alone, she avoided looking out her windows at night, and sometimes she wondered if the stranger was still watching, waiting. And weeks later, something happened that made her blood run cold. She received one final message. No greeting, no threat, just a photo. It was a picture of her apartment window, taken from across the street. The timestamp showed it had been taken that same morning. She never replied. She deleted her social media accounts. She moved apartments. She changed her routine. But even now, years later, she says she still feels it. That same unsettling feeling that somewhere, someone still remembers her name, still watching, still waiting. Reality is scarier than fiction. These stories aren't fiction. They aren't scripts. They aren't urban legends. They came from real people who experienced real fear in moments they will never forget. And the most unsettling part? There are thousands of stories like these that never get told because some people are too afraid to talk about what happened to them. If stories like these scare you, remember, they happened to real people, and they could happen to anyone. Subscribe to Hidden Verse for more real horror stories, disturbing mysteries, and true events that prove reality can be scarier than fiction.